Hey guys, can I ask you a question? Is there any difference between a diesel engine and a petrol engine?
Sure, there is a difference between petrol and diesel engine.
Come, let me explain for you.
So now I'll compare the performance between the petrol engine and the diesel engine. For the petrol engine, we will take the engine model which is F140, and the diesel engine will take the International Harvester 6.9 liter. So in terms of horsepower, the petrol engine can perform up to 612 horsepower at 7,600 RPM, while the diesel engine will have 170 horsepower at 3,300 RPM. As the maximum speed, the F140 can exceed more than 330 km per hour, while the diesel engine can only up to 140 km per hour. So for the maximum RPM that the F140 can perform is 8,400, while the diesel engine is 3,300 RPM. As you can see, the diesel engine has higher compression ratio, which is 20.7:1, while the petrol engine has a lower compression ratio, which is 11.2:1. As this diesel engine is more suitable for a heavy vehicle which has a higher torque which doesn't require a high performance in speed. And this petrol engine, although it has a higher torque compared to the diesel engine, but it only creates a higher torque at a higher RPM, which is very suitable for lightweight vehicle in sports car and racing car. Diesel engine is not suitable for speed requirement, and the petrol engine in F140 engine is for high speed performance. For this petrol engine, it can perform a higher speed is because of its lesser reciprocating mass and faster energy release compared to the diesel engine. As for fuel consumption, the diesel engine can go up to 8.1 km per liter, while the F140 can go only 5.6 km per liter. So by this comparison, the diesel engine can go further distance than the petrol engine with the same amount of fuel. So as a conclusion, the diesel engine, although has a lower performance in speed compared to the petrol engine, but if we think of the fuel consumption, is more preferable compared to the petrol engine, which has a higher mileage travel per liter compared to the petrol engine.
How about the power to weight ratio of the diesel and petrol engine?
Regarding the power to weight ratio, petrol engine generally have higher power to weight ratio than the diesel engine. Higher power to weight ratio only means higher the speed. Why diesel engine has lower power to weight ratio to petrol engine? This is because diesel engine requires high compression ratio to ignite the diesel. So to withstand the high pressure inside the cylinder, it requires strong material. Strong material means adding weight to the engine. When we add more weight to the engine, this will generate higher inertial forces to the engine and thus requiring another stronger material. The heavy weight of diesel engine thus reduces the power to weight ratio of diesel engine and thus reducing the speed of diesel engine. But that's okay, because reducing the speed will also reduce the inertial forces. Therefore, diesel engine are more suitable in heavy vehicle, which focus more on the torque rather than speed, rather than petrol engine, which is more suitable for lighter vehicle.
Since the diesel engine has a higher weight, so that means the diesel engine is bigger in size.
Diesel engines are generally much bigger than petrol engine. In petrol engine, it induces spark to ignite the petrol. But for diesel engine, the diesel depends very much on high compression ratio for ignition. So as you can see, diesel engine has much longer cylinder compared to the petrol engine. Why? This is because the longer cylinder is to provide a larger sweat volume to increase the compression ratio. Therefore, diesel engines are much bigger because they have longer piston cylinder. than the petrol engine. And as you can see in heavy vehicles, they are generally much bigger because they require bigger engine bay to accommodate with the diesel engines compared to petrol engine, which is much smaller and more suitable in lighter vehicles.
I found that the diesel and the petrol are easily available. So is there any impact will bring to the environment by using this fossil fuel?
Okay, now let's look at the environment impact brought by these two engines, this diesel and petrol engine. In fact, both these engines release harmful pollutants to the surrounding. For diesel engine, the main pollutant released is nitric oxide, and for petrol engine, the main harmful pollutant released is carbon monoxide. Okay, now let's first look at how nitric oxide will affect our environment. When a vehicle was working, so it will release the gases, which is nitric oxide. And nitric oxide will react with the surrounding oxygen. When we can see from this equation, when nitric oxide react with oxygen, it will produce nitrogen dioxide. So the group of nitrogen dioxide and nitric oxide can be known as the oxides of nitrogen. And oxide of nitrogen somehow is the main substance that causes acid rain. Okay, acid rain is the acidic precipitation formed due to all these harmful pollutants such as oxide of nitrogen and sulfuric dioxide. And this rain will damage the vegetation and the water body as well as our buildings. Okay, for the carbon monoxide released by petrol engine, it's actually happen the same thing. When the carbon monoxide reacts with the oxygen, it will produce carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases. Okay, how these greenhouse gases affect our Earth? Okay, let's look at this diagram. Under normal circumstances, when the solar radiation reaches the surface of the Earth, it will reflect back to the atmosphere as a form of heat. But when the greenhouse gases accumulated on the surface of the Earth, the solar radiation, part of the solar radiation will be trapped on the Earth's surface and causes our surrounding temperature to be increased. So as a result, it will lead to climate changes such as global warming. And this global warming will lead to many disasters such as the melting of iceberg and causes the increment of sea level. As a result, the disaster might occur such as flash flood might occur and destroy the balance of the ecosystem.
Oh, I see. Thank you guys for teaching me so much information.